Just think about this. 22 days by private jet from Rome to Cairo, seeing some of the most spectacular sights in the world, and getting to play 8 world-renowned golf courses. We're going to talk about it. Welcome to Tuesday Travel Chat. I'm your host, Julia with Go Travel. We also have Bob Cook with Go Travel here with us today. And our special guest is Jessie Terranova from TCS World Travel, the private jet journey company. So we're going to jump right into it in a second here, and we're going to go through all the itinerary for this 22-day journey around the world. But for those of you who have not heard about TCS, we're going to do a quick introduction. If you want to do a deep dive, we have another video all about that, and we'll put that in the description. But anyway, Jessie, let's hear about TCS so that we just know what type of journey we're talking about.
Definitely. So TCS World Travel has been around for over 30 years, and we really are the pioneer in global jet travel. So we have a number of itineraries every year between 20 and 25, where we take folks on our amazing Airbus A321 jet. For today, we're going to be talking about our golf journey, which is a really, really popular experience, as you can imagine. We have individuals, especially here in Florida, with Go Travel, who would love something like this. So
Absolutely.
This is a great opportunity just to raise awareness and dive in. So the wonders of the world at a glance here, as you can see, sometimes our journeys will begin in Florida. Sometimes they'll begin in Europe. It really depends on logistically where the itinerary is going to be, where the destinations are that we will visit. For this, we're going to start in Rome and make our way to Costa Navarino in Greece, a really, really beautiful western part of Greece, down to Aqaba, Abu Dhabi. As you can see, then spending some time in Africa, at Kenya, and then following through with Mauritius, Chobe National Park, getting to see Victoria Falls in Zimbabwe, which is a bucket list for a lot of people, experience item, and then ending up in Egypt. So this particular trip is going to be 22 days. So 9 destinations, as you can see. This is taking place later this year in November.
Yes.
So now is a good time to start planning for something like this. We usually plan at least 6 months out in advance for something like this. And then, as you can see there in the pricing, we do get asked pretty often if I have, say my husband and wife are going, and one wants to play golf and the other just wants to kind of experience these destinations. We do offer 2 options, one for golf and one for touring. And also, if you have an individual who just loves this itinerary, loves the destinations, they don't necessarily need to play golf. They can just go on.
So we don't lose you. If you're not a golfer, not to worry. But if you are, even better.
Right. You're going to want to hear this.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
The airfare to Rome and home from Egypt is not included. So Go Travel can handle that for you, as well as any pre-stay you may want to do in Rome. And if you're going that far to Egypt, why not add on a Nile River cruise afterward? We can handle all that for you.
Absolutely. Why not? Let's do it all while you're there, right? Okay. Let's hear a little bit more about the jet.
Definitely. So just a little bit of a history here with TCS World Travel. For those of you who haven't heard of our company, essentially we have all of these amazing destinations that we visit around the world. We have our Around the World journey, which I believe you have an episode with a couple years ago.
Yes, we do. Yep.
And so we have a couple different partners we work with, including the Four Seasons private jet experience, which we also operate. And then that's where you see Kalos Golf. So this journey is in partnership with Kalos Golf, and we're really excited to offer it.
And something also to note is the golf experience is highly sought after. This is super limited.
This is a special opportunity. We do this once a year where we have individuals come just for the purpose of playing golf. And again, you don't need to, but of course, as you can see, this really is a journey for the golfer.
It's very golf centric.
That's right. Why I bring this up is we have our Airbus A321, which we'll dive into in a moment, but we also can work alongside Go Travel to put together a private custom trip for your clients, for individuals who love an itinerary like this. Maybe they don't want to travel for 22 straight days. They want to travel for less. So we can certainly do something like that. We have in the past. And it's actually something we really look forward to as well.
Absolutely. We can handle any specialization requests that you all may have.
Yes, our advisors are close with
Yes.
TCS, and so we can really create something
Mhm.
super custom for you.
Great. So this is our Airbus A321 jet. Now, we used to operate on a Boeing 757.
Mhm.
And so now, during COVID, we acquired two brand new jets. One is Four Seasons and one is TCS. So we operate our trips on either jet. But really, this is a state of the art aircraft.
Mhm.
This is something where we're flying direct to destinations. We're not worrying about any jet lag because we're flying
Mhm.
from east to west. We're not worrying about any layovers, any time spent in airports. And typically, we're going to be on the jet for about 4 to 5 hours, depending on where we're going. For this particular journey, it's a little bit less since the
Yeah.
destinations are a bit closer. But that's the
Right.
really the nice point of waking up every morning,
Mhm.
getting on the jet, and mid morning you're in a new destination.
Right.
And I mean, we hit this hard in some of our other shows, but just as a reminder, the time you save by doing a world trip like
Yeah.
this, it's unfathomable. The number of hours when you start calculating it, by flying commercially, how many hours you would be spending
Eh.
in the airport
Yep.
waiting and waiting and waiting,
Mhm.
and then maybe spending an extra night somewhere just so that you can catch the
The
right
connection.
flight connection
Right.
and then another connection. Here, you're just going directly to where you want to go. So this is just the way to go if you really value your time.
No TSA.
It's really about removing those pain points of
Mhm.
international travel, and those are the ones that come with it. I believe on the around the world, typically, if you were to do that exact itinerary, it would take you. You'd spend about 84 hours in airports compared to TCS 9 hours spent at airports. So that's the time
Yeah.
saver there.
It's amazing.
But
It's
literally, you can arrive 15 minutes before the flight.
That's it.
You
Yeah, that's it.
used to be able to do that, but not anymore.
So just a quick dive into the experience here. On each jet journey, we
Mhm.
have a team of 16 individuals.
Yep.
So we have 3 pilots, 6 flight attendants. We have a journey physician,
Mhm.
which accompanies our guests on every jet journey. We have a chef, luggage handler. So everything is really deliberate and thought out well in advance in terms
Mhm.
of the curation, how we put these trips together. On the ground, we offer between 6 and 7 different options for touring. So you can really do anything it is that you'd like to do. The guest services manager will connect with your Go Travel advisor, and the three of you will really put together a
Mhm.
special experience. Anything that you would
Yes.
like to do, you just run it by us. We can really make anything happen.
Wonderful.
Yeah, even special diets on the plane are no problem. I
Yeah,
know that because we did a vegan one,
that's
and
right.
it was handled all the way through.
So, without further ado, we'll dive into the journey here with
Mhm.
Kalos Golf in partnership with Kalos. We're starting out in Rome. However, if you do want to arrive a few days earlier, and/or the day before, you can play at Marco Simone Golf Club in Rome, or just arrive and head straight to Greece.
Mhm. And in Rome, you're staying at the beautiful Hotel de la Ville, which is for those people who like to shop. The Via Condotti is a block away.
Oh, amazing.
The steps, the beautiful steps of Rome are right around the corner from the hotel. You're in a prime area for dining, sightseeing. It's a beautiful property. Also, the Hotel de la Ville is probably one of the top 3 or 4 hotels in Rome. Very small, intimate, luxurious, great spa.
And especially having that convenient location
Yes.
is amazing for those who maybe you have the golfer in the family
Mhm.
and you don't, and the other's not a golfer. Then you have that you can just walk out and explore Rome on your
Yeah.
own.
This is the place where you want to. We have access. This is going to sound strange, but we have access to this wonderful nighttime tour that tours the famous fountains of Rome via golf cart. And
Yes.
we can arrange that for you. It's a great way to see Rome. We get clients saying that's one of the highlights of their trip. So you might as well start with a golf cart that night.
That's
just to
unique.
just to kick things
Yeah,
off
kick things off.
so that you're ready for.
Yeah.
And for the golfers out there, if you do want to, if you just can't wait to get golfing, there's the Marco Simone Golf Club. Guests who arrive in Rome can play an optional round here at 2023 Ryder Cup venue. Something really cool about this golf club, it was named after the castle of Marco Simone, and the tower was built approximately in the year 1000. And later in the Middle Ages, additional buildings around it. And it was in the 1970s when they finally started building up that course.
Yes.
So real history, you're in
Incredible.
Rome. Don't miss it.
Private families that started the course.
Yes. So super cool. Okay, Jesse, where do we go next after Rome?
So onward now, we move to Costa Navarino
Mhm.
in Greece. This beautiful area, and actually it's closed this time of the year, but in partnership with TCS World Travel, we're going to reopen the resort and the golf course just for our guests.
So super connected, okay.
That's right. And we'll fly into Kalamata. So this is about 2 hours from Athens. It's not that far, maybe 2-3 hours, right, Bob?
Right. It's about 2.5 hours northeast of Athens on the Ionian Sea.
It's over by Zakynthos.
Yes, by Zakynthos.
A
Yeah.
lot of people are over on the other side for the most part. So this is a little more off the beaten path.
This is the area that a lot of the wealthy people from Athens will go to. They have villas and homes all along that coast. It's sort of the undiscovered Greece because it's a little hard to get to. Not for TCS, but for a lot of people.
And Bob, where are we staying?
Well, we're staying at another 5-star property, the Mandarin Oriental, which is extremely close to the golf course. It's literally
Just
like
steps away.
from the course.
Steps away.
And if you've not stayed at a Mandarin hotel, it's a truly a wonderful hotel. And for those of you who aren't golfing or who do have time after you want a little recovery, wonderful spa, an excellent spa to get the aches and pains out.
Well, speaking of the aches and pains, how are we going to get them? By golfing. So let's take a look at the course. Okay, so Costa Navarino's Bay course is where you'll have the opportunity to play. It overlooks the Navarino Bay. And one amazing thing is there are more than 1,000 mature olive trees on this course that were actually preserved when they were building this course. Some are more than 500 years old.
Right.
Which is amazing. And Bob, I know you were telling me a little bit more about the history of this.
Those trees are still producing. Those trees are ancient. They are heritage trees in Greece. The olive oil that is harvested when the resort's not open, they actually make a special pressing of olive oil that's exclusive to the area. And most of the trees are very old because olive trees can live for hundreds of years.
I mean, and again, this course was designed by Robert Trent Jones Jr. And it's spectacular course along the Greek coast.
Yes.
So we're already getting into some amazing places. Okay, where do we go next, Jesse?
So next we're off to Jordan, which I'll just pause here and say that we're many months away. So right now we're monitoring the situation going on there. One of the things about private jet travel is we have the ability to pivot. We have incredible security details down in every destination we visit. So I just wanted to mention that.
Absolutely.
Because,
it's something to consider.
Yes.
Absolutely.
And if they replace it, they're going to replace it with somewhere equally as fabulous.
Yes.
So just FYI. Okay, but tell us, if all things go well, we're going to Jordan.
We're going to Jordan. So we'll start off in Aqaba, which is just an incredible place. You can see here. I cannot wait for Bob to talk about the Ayla Golf Club here. We were talking about it before, and it's a wonderful destination. But what's really nice about this is we'll stop in Aqaba and stay at the Kempinski for just one night. And then everybody will take a break from golf. We'll have to kind of drag the golf lovers who want to stay 2 days there to Petra, but they'll be happy once they arrive. Once we stay, and that's something about TCS is we really try and be deliberate with our choices of the destinations we visit, the hotels, and with the Movenpick in the lost city of Petra, it is steps away from the lost city. So I mean, you can just depart out in the morning, and it's going to be a long day of walking, but rest assured, as soon as the day concludes, you'll be steps away back to your hotel.
Yes. Now, just if you're for Petra, you've seen it in Indiana Jones. That's not there. The exterior pictures are real, but you'll enter the village. You'll enter Petra probably early in the morning due to the heat. The heat gets concentrated by the cave. And it's spectacular to seeing these carved stone buildings that are 2,000 years old. The treasury and all these other places are gorgeous. And the Movenpick Hotel itself has been designed around the Petra, the ruins of Petra. It's a very natural resort that's just designed to remind you of what Jordan is and was. So that's a really nice feature because Jordan's a beautiful country. It's one of the top 5 wonders, I think, in the world that most people want to see, Petra.
And it's trending right now on
Yes,
Instagram for sure. So No matter what the age, people are following this and people want to go there. So this is definitely a must-see.
Bob, have you been to Wadi Rum?
I have not been, but I know clients who have, and the highlight of that trip is tea in a Bedouin tent with actual Bedouins. Camels milling around outside, you're in the tent, and the Bedouin culture is very, if you're in the tent, you are their friend, you are family. Everything is done for you. You are an honored guest.
And this is part of that whole
Part of your
TC
experience.
experience that you'll get to
That's
Yeah.
right.
experience.
This is one of the most amazing archaeological wonders of the world,
Yes.
and a really special place. But
Mhm.
hand in hand with that is we really try and go above and beyond to create an immeasurable experience and curate something really special for
Mhm.
our guests, with whether that's with locals, cultural experience, something that is meaningful, that's enriching for them.
Mhm.
Okay, so where are we going to golf? The Ayla Golf Club, which is a Greg Norman design. They took advantage of the natural topography, and there are directions and wind changes and swirls down
Yes.
various mountains that are coming in from the Red Sea. So this is a really epic place that you can say that you've golfed. But then let's take a look at the clubhouse.
Let's.
You're going to definitely know that you are not in Kansas anymore. The golf clubhouse takes inspiration from the natural dunescapes. It's a 13,000 square foot building, and it's just part of the first phase of a development that they are creating. So, really cool stuff.
Yeah.
This will be a bucket list place.
Yeah. The design itself is just really
It's
spectacular.
innovative.
Yes.
Really cool. All right, Jesse, take us on to the next place.
So we'll head on to the neighbor of Dubai here at Abu Dhabi, which actually has some really wonderful golf courses.
Most of them are brand new too.
Second to none. In fact, the Saadiyat Beach Golf Club is the first beachfront golf course in the entire Arabian Gulf.
Abu Dhabi is famous. It was literally built out of the desert. It has the world's largest mosque,
Yes.
which you can visit. You have to take your shoes off and you wear a robe. It's beautiful, out of marble, and it's perfection in design because it's built across Muslim law. Then they also have the new branch of the Louvre, the first museum that the Louvre is allowed to use their name outside of France.
Wow.
But it's a gorgeous museum with impressionist, modern, beautiful, something you don't find a lot in the Muslim world.
Very cool. There's so much to do
There's so much.
in Abu Dhabi, but the TCS
Yes.
experiences are going to be super cool, and they're going to definitely give you some of those highlights. But when it comes to the golf, let's take a look. So we have Saadiyat Beach Golf Club. It is a Gary Player designed course and the first beachfront golf course of the Arabian Gulf, just like Jesse had mentioned. Several holes play directly up to the beach, and the course routed through the dunes marked with over 60
It's
bunkers.
a tricky course.
It must be with the winds coming off the sea.
Couple other fun facts. Guests can actually admire the Saadiyat Island from every hole. And from wildlife and coastal views to desert dunes, you might even spot gazelles grazing in the fairways and dolphins playing on the Arabian Gulf.
Wow.
So you're in the middle. You know, the U.A.E. is known for all of the modern
Yes.
buildings, but there's some cool nature that you're going to experience as
When
well.
you golf, you get back to the nature
Exactly.
of the peninsula.
And then there's a second course that you're going to be able to take advantage, Yas Links, which is world ranked number 34 by Golf Digest, and also home to the HSBC Championship on the DP World Tour. And this was designed by Kyle Phillips. And Jesse, take us away. Where do we go next? Where do we fly directly to without any stops?
So we fly direct to Kenya. We go to Nairobi. Bob and I were talking about this beforehand. This is actually one of my favorite stops on the journey, just because of the history there.
Yep.
with Karen Blixen and her autobiography, her memoir, Out of Africa. Bob, this is such an incredible place. I
Yes.
think it was built on a coffee plantation that she owned.
It was. She owned the coffee plantation, and I think she actually started overseeing the building of the course before she passed away.
This is the first private club in all
Mhm.
of Kenya.
Yes.
And
Very
they've-
pretty.
They've kept it really, really well. It's very well maintained.
I mean, that's super cool. You've got that exclusivity.
Yes.
You have that history. So much there, whether you're an Out of Africa fan or just love experiencing really exclusive golf courses. This is really neat. But let's talk about Nairobi and what we're going to be doing there.
Well, of course, Nairobi, the capital of Kenya, is the old center of British heritage tradition. There's a lot of British colonial buildings. It's an English-speaking country primarily, quite safe to travel around. But Kenya has a lot to offer. If you're not golfing one day, there's options to get out to see some of the wildlife that's in the area. There's no more of the big, great bawanas leading people with guns. It's all, the only guns they have are camera guns that take pictures from a distance. But you'll like this is a beautiful country, and you're staying at the.
We're at the Hemingways.
Yes.
The Hemingways, Nairobi.
Yeah, sort of a British, wonderful British colonial. If you've never stayed in a British colonial type hotel, it's fantastic. It's the rich woods and the mahoganies. It's just, it brings you back. You want to wear white suits and K-pop hats.
And if anybody's been watching 1923, part of the Yellowstone series,
Yes.
I think this property will definitely kind of take you into that feeling of the kind of Africa scenes in that
and of
series.
Course named after Hemingway, Ernest Hemingway, who was a famous hunter.
All right, where do we go next?
So off next to Bel Ombre, Mauritius, which is just such a beautiful island, a beautiful destination off of Africa. Here, we're going to be a little bit further off the coast, inland at the golf course. Bob, what a beautiful tropical landscape.
Yeah. Well, you are on an island. Mauritius is an island. It's not attached to the mainland. Very well known. A lot of, if you're into ornithology, lots of varieties of birds that you don't see in the United States or anywhere else in the world. I think 70% of the island features animals and birds exclusive to Mauritius. And it really has not been picked over. So like some of the other islands in the African Ocean, they've not been picked over. So there's a lot of still beautiful nature with a lot of mature landscaping.
I mean, it's so difficult to get there.
Yes.
So it takes a certain type of traveler to have the dedication to get over there. Right. So fantastic for this TCS trip to be able to get
Mauritius is a bucket list destination.
Absolutely. And by the way, you will be able to take advantage of two distinct golf courses while you're there, both on property at the resort where you're staying. So, Bob, quickly tell us about that resort.
Well, the Hotel de Taillefer in Bel Ombre is designed after a French colonial feel, a little different than the British, a little bit lighter in flair, but still that beautiful ornateness and attention to detail in the wood and things like that.
Fantastic.
Carvings.
Well, and we'll take a look at the courses. First, there's Le Chateau Golf Club. This is a well-established club that opened 2004 and has already been a multiple-year host venue for the Mauritius Open. It's a parkland course highlighted by lush vegetation. I mean, you can see from the picture.
It's a rainforest.
It's spectacular. So the second golf course that you'll be able to take advantage of is La Réserve Golf Links, which was designed by Louis Oosthuizen and just opened at the end of 2023. So you're going to be one of the first to step foot on this course and be able to rate it yourself before many others can get there. And again, on an island, off of Africa, you've got to check it. Amazing, amazing, spectacular views. And again, vegetation, everything. It's going to be spectacular. Rainforest. It'll be beautiful. All right. Okay. After Mauritius, we move on to.
So off to Chobe National Park. So what's going to be great is we'll arrive in Victoria Falls, Zimbabwe, and then we'll head over to Botswana. Now, this is where we take a break. I know that we have a lot of individuals who can play golf for 40 days straight and 49 straight.
Absolutely.
But we're going to take a couple of days of a break here from golf and do some sightseeing, do some touring at some really, really beautiful destinations. So Botswana, we're going to go to Chobe National Park here just to do some game drives, to just enjoy the area, to enjoy the hotel. And then we're going to head back to Victoria Falls in Zimbabwe to experience one of the wonders of the world. So in terms of these two destinations all in one trip, it's just going to be an incredible experience.
I mean, if you've never done Africa or if you have, regardless, this is a destination that people go on their second safari, their second Africa trip to do. So this isn't just the beginner's Africa trip. No. I mean, you are going deep into the thick of it. These are just some of those ultimate Africa highlights.
True. And you're staying at the Victoria Falls Hotel. Again, another classic British colonial hotel. If you step off the patio, you're in the falls. It's that close. It's that
Wow.
beautiful. You'll see the mist will be all around you from the falls.
And then also in Botswana, we'll be staying at the Chobe Game River Lodge, which is right on the Chobe River. So a front row seat to all the amazing animals right there on the river, coming up for a drink.
You expect to see someone come out of the forest wearing a pith helmet and khakis, pants tucked into the boots. Yeah.
All right. So after Zimbabwe, Jesse, take us on to our next adventure.
So unfortunately, after Zimbabwe, it's our last stop. But what an amazing last stop in Egypt, in Cairo.
Epic.
This is the golf course that we were talking
Yes.
about.
Yes,
This is an incredible
Mhm.
landscape, incredible views of the mountain range
Yes.
nearby.
I actually had the opportunity to eat at the Allegria Country Club, and what an experience that was. The setting is beautiful. We were there at sunset, so the sun was setting to the west. Just, well, that's where it always sets, but it was just setting down over towards Old Cairo. Beautiful.
And this hotel that we're staying at, the Four Seasons on the Nile River, is just a spectacular just location, really. Just outside of the window there, when you're eating, you just have beautiful views of the Nile River
Mhm.
there. And as we visit some of the places in Egypt, specifically the Sphinx, we have front row access right in there. We have individuals who are coming to us saying, "How the heck did you get this close to the Sphinx?"
Wow.
But that's with TCS. We're able to gain that access, that insider access to these types of locations.
That's also, you have special access to the new Grand Egyptian Museum, which is partially buried by near the Sphinx. It's a beautiful, it just is opening now. They've been doing test openings recently. So by the time this comes along, should be fully open. It's where King Tut is. You should see they had a parade of pharaohs moving them from the old Egyptian museum to
Wow.
the new one.
And TCS, we actually operated the National Geographic private jet program for about 17 years before Disney bought them.
Mm-hmm.
So, with that being said, we have expert and world renowned lecturers on the jet in the destinations with us. So, imagine touching down in one of these amazing archaeological wonders of the world with somebody by your side, a Harvard professor or somebody who is well adept and very knowledgeable on these destinations to explain them to you. These are educational experiences in addition to the incredible golf that you'll be playing.
I like the fact that it's not someone who just is doing it for a summer vacation job.
Right.
I mean, these people
Right.
are doctorates in all your destinations. Essentially, all of your guys are it's
Super
an
qualified.
education as well as having fun.
That's right.
Absolutely. And as far as some of those other activities, you have several days there. So of course there will be golf, but some of those other highlights.
Well, there's so much. The bazaar, the Grand Bazaar in Egypt is a spectacular. There's a gorgeous mosque in Egypt that the last king of Egypt is buried there, King Farouk. They brought him back, even though they deposed him. They did bring him back. There's just so much. I really can't say enough about Cairo, but there's something for everyone in Cairo. And if you want something even further in depth, we can arrange that for you, like a post Nile River cruise. Because contrary to opinions, most river cruises do not begin and end in Cairo. They're further south. So you're not going to go, oh, let's go on a little Nile cruise. All you'd see are industrial boats. Pretty,
Right.
but you're not going to see what a Nile cruise is like.
Yeah, this is a really cool place to end the trip.
Yes.
You have a few days there with TCS doing whether it's the golf or whether you're doing some other type of journeys and explorations, but then we can do some really cool add-ons somewhere, nearby. Or like you say, the river cruise could be a really neat one.
Don't go this far without adding to your experience. That's the best thing I can say.
Okay, there are 2 featured courses that you can take advantage of here in Cairo. So, of course, you guys have already discussed Allegria. The 7th and the 14th holes are 2 of the feature holes, so keep a lookout for that. The second course that's featured is Katameya Dunes Golf Club, another course in Cairo. Who gets to say that they've golfed 2 courses in Cairo, just, on your little jet trip. So very cool. When we get to the end of the trip, of course, before you may head on to your post adventure that Go Travel helps you to do, how does the trip end with TCS?
So the trip ends with an incredible dinner with our guests, a farewell dinner where we have people who from all walks of life
Mhm.
who have met, who have connected. We have some really great stories of actually one, in fact, three couples met on a trip a few years back, all living in the Southern California area, and they met, they connected, and they became really good friends. And the next year, we put together a private custom travel experience to South America just for the six of them. So
That's cool.
you never know who you're going to meet on one of these. They're all like-minded
Mhm.
individuals, and all really just looking for an enriching experience.
Kindred spirits.
Awesome. We've covered the full
Yes.
itinerary, and before we wrap it up today, I just want to hear from you, Jesse, a little bit. Who is it? Who's the ideal candidate? Who comes on these types of
Mhm.
trips, and what is that kind of overall experience like as we close today?
Yeah, so for our jet journeys, I'd say the typical demographic is 55 to 75. But for something like this, for this golf journey, we'll get individuals who are in their 40s,
Mhm.
people who are, I like to think of the intrepid traveler, the curious
Sure.
adventurer, somebody who just wants to get out there and explore. And especially for a trip like this, where you are moving around a lot, it's very tiring to the body to play
Mhm.
this much golf. So we look for individuals who are avid golf players typically. With TCS World Travel, it's typically an accolade, it's an anniversary, a
Mhm.
retirement, a big experience,
Yeah.
because this is a big investment, and we understand that. So this is something that it's very deliberate for that individual, for you to book something like this. It takes time to go through each of the destinations that we're going to visit to make sure that it's a good fit for you.
Mhm.
And throughout that experience, I mean, I think there's a lot of interactivity. Talk about a little the inclusions and all of that, because we barely covered that. I
Mhm.
think you can guess how much is included in this, but just kind of to clarify.
So for this journey, everything is included. It's all inclusive.
Mhm.
So we say if you're not a shopper, you can leave your
Mhm.
wallet at home. Accommodations are included, restaurants, touring options, all the way down to gratuities. And in terms of the touring, again, there are a lot of options that you can choose from. And in terms of the group style, for this trip, the group sizes are between 2 and 4. If you'd like to if you have a few couples going,
Mhm.
they can all stay in their own group and travel together. So it's highly curated and customizable based on what you would like to do.
You're not walking around with 40 people.
No.
You're not walking around with headsets and a little microphone.
Absolutely. Well, Jesse, thank you so
Yes.
much for joining us today and kind of going through this
Mhm.
itinerary. This is super unique. If you're looking for something just, hey, to save time, to go the right way, do it right, because you only have so much time to get to all these amazing
Yes.
places in this world and play these amazing golf courses. So, talk to us, contact us at gotravel.com or call your Go Travel advisor, or we'll connect you with a specialist if you're not already working with one. And we will get you started on this conversation. Start building, start planning that ideal itinerary, the pre, the post, whatever you want to do, however you want to curate it
Mhm.
with whoever you're traveling with. Or even if you're one person and you want to do this, that's something that you can also do. So just give us a call,
Mhm.
reach out to us, and our advisors can't wait to talk to you. So thank you for joining us today,
Thank you.
and we'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.